back to my channel. This is the Healed Her series where I talk about my healing journey in hopes that it motivates and encourages you to also embark on your own healing journey. Now, today I'm going to start talking about the oldest daughter. All the things that we go through. I am the oldest of three. I am the first child, the oldest girl. And let me tell you, it is not for the weak. And this position that we did not ask to be in is tough. It's rough. And I just want to point out a few things that I learned about my positioning as an oldest daughter, especially in therapy. A lot of things that I had to heal, unravel, debunk, so I can go on now to my own selfish individual life journey that doesn't come with all the hurdles of being the oldest daughter, okay? Because that was the main core and the core of my healing and of the healing journey, because so much of your identity is rooted in being the oldest daughter, being the first, being the pioneer, being the test dummy, being the tested, being the tester, all of the above. One thing that I had to learn, or one thing that I dealt with a lot being the oldest daughter, is that I felt like I had to be great at everything. There was no room for mistakes. There was no room for me to even figure out what a mistake is. I had to come out in this world and do everything great, never late. Everything had to be to perfection, and this made me a perfectionist. This made me a huge judge of myself. This made me never have confidence in my abilities, just my capabilities. This made me I identified my accomplishments with my value and my sense of self. And I would always present my accomplishments as something that was of me, but not of my doing. Like, it was everything. If I graduated or getting good grades in school, that was more celebrated, especially being an oldest daughter, because it's like you are an example to the rest. And the older that you get and you aren't allowing yourself to make mistakes or figure out life, this will start hindering you in everything that you do. Because when I feel like I failed, I feel like I am doing the worst in life. Or when I feel like I did not accomplish something that I set out to do, or it did not work out the way I wanted to, I am beside myself. Like, I just can't. And then it would always hinder me from even celebrating my accomplishments. By the time I accomplished one thing, I could not wait until the next thing. Like, I would never celebrate my accomplishments. Like, it'll be at graduation, and I'm thinking about like how I need to apply for like grad school. You just never appreciate the moment. You just never seen how far you've gotten. Or it would have to be my friends who are like, girl, you've done a lot. Celebrate yourself a little. And these are the hurdles of an oldest daughter. And these are the things that you will have to heal, have to unravel, and have to learn about yourself. That you are more than just your accomplishments. You don't need to be good at everything. You're not going to be good at everything. And that's okay. I had to really learn that when you're an oldest daughter, you feel like you're responsible for everybody else and you're last. I had to fix everything, fix everyone, make sure everyone is good, make sure everything is good. I did not know how to check on self. And when I was in therapy, I would just talk about how this person's life needs to be fixed, or I need to fix this for this person, or I need to take care of my mom, or I need to figure out something about my brother. It was always everyone else. And if you ask me, like, so what about you? And I'm like, what about me? You know, I found fulfillment in doing things for other people. Now, it's great to be an empath. It's great to be of service to others. But when you're the oldest daughter, every fiber of your being is bred on serving others. And you never realize that you never serve yourself. And when you do this, you often always will encounter people that need you, people that will use you, people that live off of you, people that, you know, derive their energy from you. Like, you will literally do stuff for people until your day die. You know, and that is stressful. That hinders you from your accomplishments, because to accomplish things and to get in a certain place in your life, you have to be selfish. And I could not wrap my head around. I felt so guilty moving. I felt so guilty doing things for myself. I felt so guilty not doing things for others, countering what I did for myself. Like, if I bought myself something, it's like I would feel guilty, but like, you worked for it. You know, if it was someone's birthday or I wasn't there for a moment, I would feel inherently so guilty. And that is one of the biggest hurdles for an oldest daughter, where you're put in a position where you are bred and you are asked and you are required to do everything for yourself. And it pushes you further and further and further away from knowing self, from doing things for self. And if you don't start being selfish and doing things for yourself, you aren't going to make the best decision when it comes to people in the future. A spouse, friends, things of that nature. You will become drained. You will be depleted. You know, people will belittle you and you won't even realize it. You will just become a person for others more than a person for yourself. And that is one thing that you will learn in your healing journey when you start it, and when you start realizing what hurdles you actually went through being the oldest. That I learned is I was heavily parentified in my childhood, and being parentified simply means that you were a third parent, you were a second parent, you know, you weren't allowed to be a child, right? And one thing that you will learn in therapy is that little girl in you walks everywhere with you. You have to learn how to parent them now. You have to learn how to be better for them. You have to go back to those memories and those times, and you know, learn how to parent that little girl, how that little girl should have been parented, because you were so parentified and put in this position where you weren't allowed to be a child. And you need to be allowed to be a child in order to be the best version of an adult. Because many times we're all walking around here in life and it's the little girl that's walking around. It's not the adult. When we have arguments with people or broken relationships with others, or the decisions that we're making, it's not you making this decision. It's the little girl in you. It's what happened to that little girl. You know, it's the parentified little girl. She's the one who's making decisions. And until you heal her, until you parent her how she should have been parented, until you see her, until you also just know the traumas and the triggers that you have, you will continue, that little girl will continue ruling your life. And I see it a lot in our community. I see it a lot around us. When, you know, someone, you know, the whole joke of you're not acting your age or at your big age. Sometimes your age is 5 or 6 inside. Okay, it may look like a woman, it may talk like a full-grown woman, but that full-grown is a little girl inside that's crying, that's hurt. And if you don't heal her, you will not continue. You will keep getting older, but that little girl will continue just being in your life every single step of your life while you get older. So take time. It's painful. It's not easy going back to that little girl. And when you're talking about it in therapy, you literally see her, you visualize her, you start talking like her. You know, those memories that arise while you're talking about them, it's like you go back in time. It's a lot of work. It's deep work, and it's work, honestly, you have to be prepared for. As much as I can motivate you and encourage you to do therapy and go through a healing journey, it is something that you have to really be prepared for, because it unravels a lot of things that you didn't even know existed. It will shine a light on a lot of the issues and the current issues that you have today that you didn't even realize were a thing, or you didn't know where they even started from, or the root of them. You know, how you treat people, the men that you pick, the jobs that you go for, how you dress, how you speak, how you function. Like, you don't realize how much all of that stems from childhood, because you were so parentified. You know, people expected you to be a parent, to be an adult. You weren't allowed to fulfill every stage of your life. And that comes with a lot. And a lot of times I see it very much in us firstborns, in the first daughter. You know, you're just heavily parentified, and once you start going through your journey, you will learn that even though you're healing, that doesn't excuse what was done to you. That doesn't make it okay. That doesn't negate the fact that it hurt you. You just learn how to heal from it, right? That doesn't mean that the people that hurt you or the people that put you in those positions or your parents that parentified you, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't hold them accountable, or that doesn't mean because you healed and you're talking about it now it's forgiven and forgotten. Yes, you can forgive, but you'll never ever forget, but you'll learn how to deal with it, right? You'll learn going forward. That's when your boundaries start arising. That's when you'll learn, like, where it stems from. And that is so important, because when you come into relationships and have new relationships in your life, you need to learn the triggers. You need to learn the traumas. You need to be able to articulate to someone like, hey, what you do makes me feel X, Y, and Z because of this. You're not living in it anymore. It's almost like you have worked through it, but you're not in it anymore. That is one of the things I was like, wow, like, I'm not that little hurt girl anymore. Like, I know when she comes out. I understand why she comes out. I give myself grace when she does come out, because that's still a part of you, but she does not control me. She does not rule me. And that was a breakthrough for me. That was a breakthrough for me. It was a breakthrough for me to become even more independent within myself without feeling guilty. It was a breakthrough where I felt like I can now become the best version of myself, and become who I've always wanted to be, the woman I've always wanted to be, guilty free, knowing where that woman came from, knowing where I started, knowing the why. So last thing, one of the biggest hurdles I learned about being the firstborn, the oldest, is you don't ask for help, because you always have this fear where if someone helps you, they're not going to do it your way, so it's always going to disappoint you. And asking for help is one of the biggest strengths that you can have. Now, when I say ask for help, I don't mean that you're this lazy person that never takes responsibility. You always seek for help first. That's not what I mean at all. I mean, when you need something, you can call and say something, or when someone's there to help you, you can allow them to help you. You cannot do everything yourself. You're incapable of doing it. You shouldn't do everything yourself. And as an oldest daughter, we did everything so much that we have a very hard time accepting that you need people. For me, when I would describe like needing someone, it would make me feel less than. It would make me feel incapable of doing it. Saying that I need help, or I need someone to be there, or I need a hug, or I need a conversation, that would always make me feel like I am, like sucking up to something. I'm vulnerable. I'm weak. Oh, that word, weak. And there is strength in asking for help. There is strength in identifying that you cannot do this thing called life by yourself. You cannot be in a relationship, especially for us females, and constantly be in your masculine energy, constantly doing everything, and you say you want a partner for life, and you say you want a spouse for life. That's not how that works. You, just as you're serving others, you need to be served, and it will be exhausting if you don't have help. It will be exhausting if you don't seek help, you don't ask for help, or you don't realize that this thing called life needs partnership, needs friendship, needs relationship. I have just realized there is such strength in saying, I'm not okay today. I need someone there with me. I need someone to do life with. I need someone who's going to make me better. I need someone to pick me up when I fall. I need someone to grab that tear as it falls. I need someone to create and curate a safe space for me to, allow me to just be me. There is strength in knowing that, verbalizing that, and acknowledging that, because in knowing and acknowledging, I can also see who is going to be the best person for that, whether it's friendship or relationship. I can identify like, hey, you will not meet my needs, and this is where I'm going to put you in my life. I can identify that I'm not going to choose you off of just potential. Like, you could potentially be of service to me. No, if I can have a conversation with you, or you can't help me do the smallest things, I already know. I already know. Or if I have verbalized and communicated the things that I need, the things that are important to me, and those needs are not met, I already know this is not going to work. And a lot of times, if you don't identify that, or you don't know that about yourself, you will keep useless people in your life. You will keep people that you think are going to change next year, and 10 years later, they're still the same. And choosing the wrong people will keep you in an older daughter position. Choosing the wrong people will keep you parentified, or being a parent, even in a marriage, even in a relationship, because you simply don't know. You haven't been okay with asking for help. You haven't okayed it for yourself to ask for help. So you go from your parents' house and you go and choose someone that you're going to be a parent to. Woo! Being someone's mama and you're married to them. Imagine that. It will continue on. And your biggest downfall will be that you are depleted, you are deprived, you are miserable because your needs are not being met. But you cannot fault that other person for not meeting your needs if you cannot even dictate what your needs are. You see what I mean? You gotta heal. You gotta know what you need. You gotta ask for help. And for me, it was my biggest thing in my healing journey to say, like, I need so and so. I need this. And in being poured into, I was now able to function in my life. I'm being a better person. I'm more proactive. Like, it's absolutely amazing because I have accepted that it's not weak to have fulfillment from other people. I cannot do everything on my own. I will not. I cannot. I'm not supposed to. It's made my relationship with God even greater and better because I'm like, I need you. I need direction. Because if you feel like you don't need anything in anybody, so you're saying that you also don't need direction from the higher above. And you're going to go through life just leading yourself in life with absolutely no direction. Doing everything on your own does not make you strong. And I pray and I hope, as the oldest daughter especially, you find healing, or you find the courage to ask for help, to get the help, to pour into yourself. Become a healed girly. Healing is not linear. Healing is constant. It will be consistent. It is not a flip of a switch. It is not going to be one day and you're good, one therapy session you're good. No, it's maintenance. Just as you go for an oil change, you're going to go for oil change for your mental, for your health, just as we go for your physicals, things of that nature. So if you are watching this and you are the oldest daughter, it is okay to not have it all together. It is okay to not know everything. It is okay to make mistakes. It is okay to not be your parents' number one call. It is okay to not be everybody's emergency contact. It is okay to say no, to have boundaries. It is okay. It is okay to sit in your house and not pick up those phone calls. They'll be all right. And side note, when you start setting these boundaries and you stop being there for everyone every time, always, you'll realize that they're just fine. They figure it out because you're also not helping them, always being a crutch. People will figure out life without you. People will be able and capable of doing things without you. Okay? You will start realizing, like, so you can figure it out. So you do know what to do without me. Yeah, girl. They will. And they'll appreciate it because when you do too much for other people, they don't even themselves know how to do it for themselves. So you're inherently creating the same problem that you have. But you have to identify the problem that you have before you go on and fix other people's problems. Now that's a word. So if you loved or liked what you heard, leave it in the comments. Let me know your experiences as an oldest daughter, how it's going, what you've identified in your life. Anything and everything, leave it in the comments. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you on the next episode. Bye.